We can get started.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, go ahead.
Awesome. Good evening, everyone. I would like to call this evening's Jefferson Elementary School District Regular Governing Board meeting.
You can start now. Sorry.
Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call this evening's Jefferson Elementary School District Regular Governing Board meeting to order. If we could have members present, roll call, Ms. Coveray.
Clayton Koo,
Here.
Marie Brizuela,
Here.
Andrea Jordan,
Here.
Manufo Leah Inga Anawai,
Here.
and Maybell Monio is absent.
Thank you, Ms. Coveray. If we could please at this time have the flag up for the Pledge of Allegiance, and I would like to respectfully ask that Trustee Koo lead us this evening in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Sure.
If we could all stand and please put your right hand over your heart.
Ready, begin. I pledge
Pledge allegiance
to
to
the
the
flag
flag
of the
of the
United
United
States
States of America and to the republic
for which it
which
stands,
stands
one
one
nation,
nation under God,
indivisible,
indivisible,
with
with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Trustee Koo. At this time, we'd like to review our governance team meeting guidelines. And if everyone's ready, if I could get a thumbs up and we can progress forward on the agenda.
So,
Thank you. At this time, I'd like to entertain a motion to approve this evening's meeting agenda.
I'll make a motion that we approve the agenda as submitted.
Thank you. We have a first, we have a second. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Thank you. If we could move on over to item 6 for communications. And we will now have board member acknowledgements and commendations. And we will begin with Trustee Andrea Jordan.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I'm happy to be here. I am also very thrilled that I'm fully vaccinated, and we have the news that they're opening it up to the younger crowd, and so I'm excited to get my oldest also vaccinated. I think, I'm looking forward to the future. I think we're coming out of this slowly but surely, so everyone will continue to remain safe and follow the safety protocols so that we can continue to have the rest of our school year end, hopefully on a good note.
That's awesome. Congratulations to you. Trustee Brizuela.
Okay, well, welcome to everybody, and I just want to say yes, I'm vaccinated too, and it didn't hurt at all. But I'm glad to see that so many of us are getting that vaccination, and I'm glad that people are still wearing their masks. I do when I go out, still trying to keep everything healthy for everyone, and that one day soon we'll all be able to get together and enjoy each other's company and not worry. So I'm looking forward to that.
Thank you, Trustee Brizuela. Me too. Trustee Koo.
I will join everybody. I'm also vaccinated, so that'll make 3. I also wanted to send my congratulations to JESD's counseling program. Last Friday, they received a Kent Award for all the work they did over the past year. So just want to extend my congratulations to all the counselors and everybody in the district office who make that possible.
Great.
Thank you, Trustee Koo. I too would also like to extend my congratulations to our counseling team and to all of our staff and educators, administrators, and the parents and families who continue to ensure that we're all doing our part. And I also want to say happy, as many know it, happy Asian American Pacific Islander Heritage Month. But I really am grateful that President Biden has recognized some of the advocacy that has happened from my community, and this year has called it the Asian American Native Hawaiian Pacific Islander Heritage Month. So I wish you all well. I hope that each of you get to celebrate or get a dose through food, some good food. Hit me up for recommendations around our county where you can go and get some food, some Islander food open throughout the county. I think it's exciting. There's a new spot in South San Francisco who actually recently did a fundraiser and gave back to the South San Francisco Boys and Girls Club. So I think it's a great way to celebrate our youth and enjoy some culture. But I'm just really grateful to be here and hear that all of you are vaccinated, as am I, fully vaccinated. It definitely is liberating. So let's all continue to stay safe and be well. Superintendent Vidalis?
Yes, thank you. And thank you to Mr. Koo. I didn't see him at the Kent Awards, but I knew that he was behind the scenes helping with some of the computer interface, and that was a great job. It was a great event, even though we did it virtually. I just want to say that an update on the return to school. We've been back all of our grade levels as of April 26th. Students come at least 2 days a week. Some classrooms with small class sizes can come back 4 days a week. And, we've heard in the news every day that a new school district is announcing that they're going to return fully in the fall. Jefferson Elementary School District will also reopen fully every day for a full day for every student in the fall. And the reason is all of us will. The current flexibility that reduces the instructional minutes that are required, that allows for offering hybrid and virtual programs for this year, expires in June. The board doesn't need to take any additional action. It's just what school districts are mandated to do, and our responsibility to provide in-person instruction for every student every day. Today, if you had a chance to listen to some of Governor Newsom's announcements and discussion, he reiterated that, and he said, that school districts, if they expect to get any funding from the state, will need to reopen fully. So don't know if that's a threat or if that's a promise, but we'll see how that plays out. There still is some flexibility, and there may be more in the next few weeks for students who are just not able to be back under our current independent study policy or our home and hospital program options, and we'll be exploring that with families as they come to light. But I just wanted to reiterate that our school district, Jefferson Elementary, is going to continue to abide by all of the local health guidelines for schools, and especially in the next few months, as I anticipate that they're going to be updated to reflect new guidance and new research and new recommended practices. Some part of me just wishes that we would just stay the same for a little while, but when we live in an era of evolving science and increased vaccination, guidance changes and sometimes moves faster than we can keep up with. But we're doing our best to keep up with the latest. With these revised guidelines, those that are in place already, our school district expects that we can open every day for every student. Our class sizes might be smaller than in a typical year, just to be able to accommodate the number of students that we can place in the classroom. And we are going to be using our federal and our state relief dollars to be able to staff classrooms to the appropriate size. Another piece of good news, and Trustee Jordan did mention this earlier, is that students in our middle schools, they're now eligible to be vaccinated with the Pfizer vaccine starting tomorrow. And so we've shared an opportunity already this evening with some of our families about how they might be able to sign up. I know that Kaiser and Sutter Health are doing extensive outreach campaigns to all of their clients or patients, I guess, members to all of their members in the coming weeks, explaining how they can get their vaccine at their facilities. And I expect that our school district is also going to offer some vaccine clinics at each of our middle schools here in the next coming weeks to make it easier for families to be able to make it to come, get their middle schooler vaccinated, get grandma vaccinated if she's not, mom and dad, aunt and uncle, whoever's in the family is going to be welcome to be vaccinated at that time. So,
It's
you know,
wonderful.
yeah, no, it really is. And we're just seeing how powerful the vaccine is and how protective it is. So our district and our school communications are going to be announcing and sharing these messages in the coming days. And I fully expect that this vaccine, coupled with the other safety measures we have in place, are going to continue to keep our students, our staff, and our community safe. So you're right, Trustee Jordan and everybody else, there is a light at the end of the tunnel. And I feel like it's not just at the end of the tunnel, it's like we're coming into the light, like it's just right there. So we've turned a corner and the corner is good. Although we know that this virus has been smarter than us in many ways, and has constantly amazed and surprised. I'm hoping that at this point that it will act in ways that the scientists and the researchers are finding and expecting it to react. So good news for now. We will definitely keep the board up to date if anything should change.
Question, Bernie, is do we feel that all of our students' families are able to get the same information like this? How are we reaching out to them so they all get the same information?
We are reaching out in multiple channels, in multiple ways.
Mhm.
So we hope that people can get it. You know, there'll be certainly electronic communication. We'll have it on social media. We will have school sites do phone calls.
Okay.
So just a variety of ways that are out there. And, you know, information travels best person to person. And so we're hoping that as one family finds out about something, they'll talk to their two friends and eventually it gets around. So
Okay.
I can't promise that every person will read or pick and listen to the message, or, you know, but we can try our best to communicate.
Just so they know the availability. you know.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and you know, we may even consider sending home a hard flyer in the US mail once we get, if we're going to be doing a vaccine clinic at any
Yeah.
of our school sites. So,
Okay. Thank you.
Any other comments or feedback from our trustees? Thank you. Thank you, Superintendent Vidalis. I appreciate hearing that we will be able to provide access to our families and our students, especially now that it's been open to the younger age
Mhm.
population. I did have a question. Do you and the district find that there still maybe needs to be a level of awareness and education to dispel some of the fears outside of just offering that we have vaccination available, especially now that it's also offered to our student population? And if so, just wondering how that would happen if that is something that you all are thinking about and or already implementing.
well, I think I see this in a two-part phase, sort of let's vaccinate those who are ready and willing right now quickly. And then over the summer, I begin to identify different ways of communicating and supporting, because I do anticipate us, you know, offering more vaccines at the end of summer as it starts to open up for 5-year-olds and up. I do think that, you know, it's a tough thing, and there's very smart people, much smarter than I, that are battling this battle of misinformation. So we do want to make sure that we can tap into that and access all of the multilingual resources that are out there to get this message out. And the best ambassadors are people who've been vaccinated. So I think, you know, those of us who are, you know, we need to utilize that ambassadorship and get out into the community and start to speak about it and share our experiences. I really felt strongly that we need to offer the vaccine on our school sites. I think our schools have a measure of reliability in the community. Not going to say that we're like a church, but we're places where people drop off their children every day and trust them to us. And so if we are able to offer this vaccine, that may lend a level of credibility to the opportunity.
Thank you.
And opening it up also to any adults who are in the home, not restricting it to just juveniles. So, and we'll offer more if we need to, if they all are oversubscribed, and that's a great problem to have. We'll schedule another one in 2 weeks.
Thank you, Superintendent Vidalis. We will now move on to general functions. And I'd like to have a motion to approve the consent agenda, if there are no questions.
I motion to approve the consent agenda.
Thank you. We have a motion.
I'll second it.
We have a second. And I apologize. Do we need a roll call, or we are good with a yes?
We're good with the verbal.
Okay. All those in favor say aye.
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 Awesome. Thank you. We will now move on to item C, and that is for the resolution number 210512 for Classified Employees Week. And the administration recommends adoption of this resolution in honor of our classified employees. Do we have a motion and/or discussion?
I will make a motion that we adopt resolution number 21-05-012, designating the week of May 16th to 22nd as Classified Employees Week.
Second the motion. Oops.
Thank you. Thank you. We have a first and we have a second. All those in favor?
All in favor, aye.
All those in favor? I'm sorry.
This is a resolution, so we would require a roll call. So Ms. Kovarai, if you wouldn't mind.
Mr.
Thank-
Koo,
Aye.
Mrs. Brizuela,
Aye.
Miss Jordan,
Aye.
Miss Leah Inga Anawai,
Aye. Yay. Thank you to all our classified staff for all of the incredible work. A lot of times you don't receive the gratitude that you deserve, but we definitely appreciate you all. So thank you. We will now move on to item 8B, description of the plan of the Jefferson Elementary School District to serve expelled students in accordance with the requirements of the California Education Code.
I can just give a little bit of background on this. This is a plan that we submit every 3 years to the county office, and then they prepare a report and submit it to the Department of Education. Our latest plan that you see there as an attachment just updates the language. We're including more references to restorative justice practices, counseling, some of the things that we've started to put into place for prevention and is offered to all students, as well as the different options that we have for students who may need, because of what they've done, may need some form of expulsion. We do in this district veer away from complete expulsion, and we do offer lots of different restorative options where possible.
Thank you, Superintendent Vidalis. Do any of our trustees have any feedback and/or questions?
No, I'm happy with this program, and it's a lot better than what was used before, because we all know that our students are better off in the school. And if there's a program for them to help them through this period of time, that's to be commended.
I would also like to add that I'm glad that we are trying to do some prevention and getting ahead of it prior to it becoming an issue. I had a conversation with our superintendent, and I actually would like, if possible, Mr. Rosales, if you could be transparent about, since the last time we updated this plan, how many expulsions there might have been, so that the public kind of understands that hopefully we're in a standing of, this is something that we're not going we're not moving to expulsion often because of all of the things that we've basically put in place.
Yeah, and that's a difficult question to answer outright. What I can tell you is we are fortunate to live in a very honest community. Our students do commit acts that may be considered expellable, but our students are very quick to admit it and say yes, they did it, and they want to participate in another, what we call a voluntary consent to discipline, where they may participate in a home study program for a couple of weeks. Part of it might be placement at another school, because we don't want to place, if there is a victim that where the harm was not able to be repaired, we don't necessarily want the victim to have to confront the person who caused them harm on a daily basis. And so we offer other school placements. But expulsion in the true sense, I don't think we've done many at all in the last several years.
Thank you, Mr. Vidales. And I only ask that because I wanted to make sure that the public understands, all the efforts that we're doing. And because of the conversations that we've had around the schools to prison pipeline, and ensuring that we are not helping facilitate that. And our goal is to truly ensure that our students are getting the best that they need in our district, so that they can move on and become, hopefully, the best citizens that they could be for our community.
And since we have this discussion, I'd like to add something as well. Students are students, and they are children. And sometimes they will make a mistake. And to pay a high price for that mistake is putting them back down rather than trying to build them back up. So if we have this intervention available, that we can talk with them and let them understand what they did is not appropriate, and they can learn from that, and they know that they're being trusted, and that they can believe that they can overcome that, then we have done more than educate our children, because that's what it is. And I can recall from when I was a child, when I had my children and they were exposed to things, how often it was easy to kick that kid out, and what would happen to that child. So I'm glad that we are doing everything that we're doing, and thank you.
Thank you for your comments. I don't know, Trustee Koo, did you have any comments? Thank you. I want to just say that I totally agree with both you, Trustee Brizuela and Trustee Jordan. For many years, I've worked with youth, and youth development is key, but youth development cannot happen if we're constantly looking from a lens of being punitive. And many times when we move to expulsion, we don't speak or highlight, we don't speak to or highlight some of the support systems that we're putting into place as documented through this plan. So I appreciate hearing everyone's comments. I appreciate the administration for moving forward to make these edits and adjustments to ensure that we are dismantling this pipeline, this prison pipeline that continues to start from just one incident that can totally change the trajectory of our students. And many times, in all honesty, our students of color, our marginalized communities who really can't find their way back. So I think these are great steps moving forward in ensuring that that does not happen, and that they are supported and become successful. So with that said, if there's no other comments or feedback, I would like to ask if there is a motion to approve this recommendation for this plan.
I'll make a motion to approve the plan as presented.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and we have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. We will now move on to item 10A, certificated personnel and administrative appointment for 2021. The administration recommends approval of the following administrative appointment of Roxanne Hannon. And I will turn it over to Mr. Valenti.
Thank you all very much. Yes, as you recall, at our last meeting, you had an opportunity to meet Ms. Hannon. Unfortunately, she wasn't able to come this evening, but I don't believe so. She may be out there in the audience. Keep your eyes open on the chat. I don't have control of that. But we're really excited about her working in this capacity, and we wanted to, again, make the official recommendation to move forward with her appointment as the next principal at Susan B. Anthony.
Yeah, and I would just, for clarity's sake, the board did vote on her appointment at our last meeting. So this is just ratification and open session of your decision.
Thank you.
So we took that motion in closed session, but it was brought out.
Yeah, it was, yeah. So we can now do it in open session to ratify that.
Thank you, Superintendent, for the clarification and for transparency. So I would like to open it up to the floor and ask if we have a motion to publicly acknowledge the appointment of Ms. Hannon to be principal at SBA, Susan B. Anthony. Do we have a motion? Sorry, my neighbor's screaming. in
I'm
the
sorry.
backyard.
Are you asking us to make a motion again in
Yes,
public? Rather,
Yes.
I mean, you're saying to acknowledge it, but
Yeah, to ratify, I think would be the appropriate word. Ratify this.
Ratify. Thank you, Superintendent.
I'm sorry. In 40 years, we've never done this like this. So I'm questioning what the verbiage should be. We've never done this before like this. But so you want me to say ratify rather than? Okay.
I think
That
that,
would be
yeah, I
fine.
think that was the suggested language.
Okay, then I would like to make a motion to ratify the appointment. Let me make sure I get my, it's so hard to read this in the, oh wait, I lost my place here. Okay, sorry. Okay, to ratify the appointment of Roxanne Hannon, principal of Susan B. Anthony Elementary School, effective July 13th, 2021. Work days, IMWMA, step 3.
Thank you. We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
I second.
We have a second. Is this a roll call item? Or is it? an
No,
aye?
if the voice vote is sufficient.
Thank you. All those in favor, say aye.
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 Thank you. And congratulations again, Ms. Hannon. Are you here this evening?
She's not in this room. So we did hear from her at the last meeting. So
Okay.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you all. I appreciate it.
And thank you, Mr. Valenti, for facilitating that for us. Thank you.
Sure.
We will now move on to item 10D, and that is the assignment of certificated personnel outside credential authorization for 2021. To be in compliance with the California State Education Code, the Board of Trustees is required to approve the assignment of certificated personnel to teach outside their credential authorization. The district presently has 14 teachers who meet the criteria to teach subject areas. I'm so sorry, my neighbor is just having so much fun in the background. I apologize.
It's a dog, the neighbor.
The area outside their credential authorization through the following education codes as listed, and the administration recommends approval of these assignments for the 2020-21 school year. Mr. Valenti?
Yeah, thank you. In our middle schools, we have folks that are working outside of their credential area, but have done certain things, whether it be undergraduate units or professional development, that allow them to teach other classes outside of that. They're usually art or dance or perhaps science if they have a bachelor's degree in biology, but a credential in social studies. So there's 4 different ed codes that we have to have the board take action on an annual basis that allows those listed teachers to continue working outside of the credentialed area. So it works in conjunction with the Commission on Teacher Credentialing as well. And if there's any questions that I can answer.
Thank you. Do we have any questions comments from the
I
board?
just have a comment. I just wanted to say thank you to those teachers that are working outside of their credentials. I actually know some of the names on that list, and I understand how hard it can be just to teach what you do on a regular basis.
Yeah.
And then obviously to have to go outside of that and pivot, especially during this pandemic. I just want to say thank you so much. We really appreciate you. Our students appreciate you. The board, I guess I will speak for the board and say that we appreciate you, and we're very grateful for all that you're continuing to do.
Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Jordan. Well said, and fully agree with that, in true appreciation. So moving forward, would anyone like to make the motion? Not all at once, though.
I will make the motion that we approve the assignments as presented for the 2020-2021 school year.
I'll second the motion.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Right?
Thank you. We
Right.
will now move forward. Mr. Valenti, did you have anything else to add? Or?
No, I think that's it. Am I on the, there's one more item, I believe, just
Sure.
on classified. I'll
11.
let you proceed.
Thank you. We will now move on to item 11A, classified personnel, and this is retirement. The administration recommends approval of the retirement request from the following classified employee and requests an appropriate resolution be prepared commending her for her years of service with the district. And this is for Karen Joyner, office assistant, special education, and her date of hire was November 1st, 1999. And effective June 11th of this year, she will be retiring from our district.
Yeah.
So we want to thank Ms. Joyner, and we want to turn it over to you, Mr. Valenti.
I again just wanted to thank Ms. Joyner for her years of service. These last few years, she's been working, supporting our school nurses, entering information in our student databases, and that's so important to make sure when kids move around that we have up-to-date information. So we again want to wish her best of luck in her new endeavors and thank her for her service.
Thank you, Mr. Valenti. Do we have any comments from the board? If not, I'd like to request a motion to celebrate and approve the retirement of Ms. Joyner with appropriate commendation.
I'll make a motion to approve the retirement request from Karen Joyner, Office Assistant 1 for Special Education, and to wish her much happiness in her retirement and thank her for her services to our district.
I second that motion.
Thank you. We have a motion. And all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Congratulations, Ms. Joyner, and thank you again for your service to our district and our community.
Thank you all. It's the longest I've been on the board video all year. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Valenti. We will now move on to item 12A. And this is, I know that this is a favorite part of the agenda of Trustee Kuz, very dedicated to our board policies. And so at this time, we are reviewing and taking possible action to approve board policies to be renumbered or retitled and deleted as presented by CSBA. I'm sorry, this is why I need other glass. CSBA is updating its policy platform service, and this action is necessary for the process. The board will review and take possible action to approve the attached board policies to be renumbered or retitled in category number 1 and deleted in category number 2. These policies were not recognized by the new platform due to one of the following reasons. The spelling or wording of the policy did not match that of the one in the Policy Plus platform, or CSBA has deleted a policy from its sample site and may still be in the district manual. Do we have any comments?
Yeah, I would like to make some comment. This is not a routine
Superintendent.
policy approval. As you mentioned, we have two categories of policies today. Category one is policies that we have and we want to keep. But we need to change the name of the titles so that it matches that the policy titles that exist in the board policy management platform that we utilize. For some reason or another, when we updated our policies, we may or may not have, or maybe we did, change the name to match the recommended name, but for some reason it didn't make it. So we need to take action now to rename them to the appropriate name. And as I looked through them, it's missing a word, or we have too many words. It's only supposed to be 2 words, or we have only 2 words. It's the new title has 4 words. It doesn't substantially change any of the content. It's just the title. So those are category 1. Category 2 are policies, one, that are either obsolete. They're not, what they cover is no longer a practice or something that school districts need to do. The policies, the content of them have now been incorporated into a different policy. And as I looked through all of those policies, one of those 2 things were true. One, it was either obsolete. There's something in there about student discipline, entering it into some kind of system. Every time we have an incident, it's like, we don't have that system anymore. So it doesn't make sense to keep that one. And then there's other ones where there's some complaint procedures in there, and those, as you know, because it is in every policy update, the uniform complaint procedure is something that's come into place and into practice in the last 10 years. And so now that our uniform complaint process, encapsulates everything that was in that other policy. And that's true for the remainder. I don't see any policy in there that doesn't already exist somewhere else.
Thank you, Superintendent Vidalis, for that clarification. Are there any comments or questions from the board? So if not, I would like to ask for a motion to approve these board policies to be renumbered and or retitled and deleted.
I will make a motion that we approve the attached board policies be renumbered or retitled for category 1 and deleted for category 2 as presented.
I'll second that motion.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Right?
Thank you. We will now move on to persons wishing to address the board on unagendized or closed session items. And this portion of the agenda is available for individuals to comment on or address the board on any issue that is under the board's jurisdiction and not on the agenda, or an item addressed in closed session. So tonight we are practicing or putting into practice a new way of opening up to public comment. So I will defer over to our superintendent to share those details. And I just want to remind our speakers that your maximum time allowed for anyone that will be sharing this evening is 2 minutes. Thank you.
Yeah, so for those of you waiting to speak, and also just the general public who is viewing tonight, we are trying a new practice. Folks will address the board in a live format. We have 4 speakers. I will call the name. Mr. Will Smith will then invite you to unmute yourself. And you'll get a notice on your screen that will unmute. And then you press that, and then you begin your comment. And there will be a timer that displays on our screen to let you know how much time you have left. So we're trying it for the first time today. We think it's going to work. We practiced, and let's hope it does. Okay, so I have a speaker card from Ms. Flordilyn Arroco Castillo. She's a staff member. She would like to address the board. please unmute yourself when you get the chance.
Hi, can you all hear me?
Yes.
Perfectly, thank you.
Great. Good evening. My name is Flordalyn Arroco Castillo. I am a language arts and reading teacher and the union rep at Fernando Rivera. I am also a part of the Ethnic Studies Committee of Teachers who are working to create a robust, socially just curriculum for our middle schoolers. And I have been with the district for 3 years. I came here to speak in solidarity with my colleagues who feel extremely overwhelmed with the demand of holding an open house this school year. This year, especially more than ever, teachers are stressed, overworked, and tired. And why? Well, please let me refresh your memory and let's go down memory lane together. In March 2020, we were given 2 days to turn our in-person curriculum into a virtual one. Teachers who were unprepared took on the challenge and came up with innovative and creative ways to engage and teach students while they are learning from home. All throughout this school year, we attended professional developments that were supposed to support us with distance learning. Then, when spring break approached, hybrid teachers were given 2 weeks' notice that we are going back into the classroom, which meant parents had to scramble to find childcare, and our spring break was spent preparing lessons, with some teachers even going into their own classrooms during spring break just so they can have a welcoming classroom for our students that are returning. Not to mention, we also have to administer the CASP state testing, fully knowing that students are coming from 13 months of being holed up at home during a worldwide pandemic. And now we are also being told to hold an open house on top of all that. It seems like open house is supposed to be stress-free, but teachers by nature will always do more. With Teacher Appreciation Week done and dusted, quite frankly, many teachers do not feel appreciated because it's one thing to say it, but it's another to show us. After a full year of teachers striving our best, putting on a brave face and a smile while teaching students every day, what we are seeing from those that are supposed to support us is performative appreciation. We are asking for open house to be canceled this year, but really what we are humbly asking is for you to give us a little breathing room. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Ms. Arroco. We have another speaker here from, oops, I lost my screen. Get back there, here we go. Okay, we have a speaker card from Mr. David Finn, 8th grade virtual school teacher. Mr. Finn, will you unmute yourself when you get invited?
Yes, I'm now unmuted, and thank you for the chance to speak. I do want to thank Andrea Jordan for appreciating that we are teaching outside of our area of expertise, and that kind of ties in with what I'm trying to say. We are totally overloaded already. I'm a math teacher, and I'm teaching math and English and social studies and science, and trying to take care of these kids emotionally and fielding emails from parents and from students. And if you think being on a Zoom call for 2 hours is tough, try being on Zoom calls all day with kids, and then Zoom calls with administration and Zoom calls with fellow teachers to do planning. So the bottom line, I don't want to do too much repetition from what's already been said, but open house is supposed to be an opportunity for the parents and families to learn what's going on in the classroom. We're in their living room every single day, or we're everything that we do is totally available to the parents all the time. So not only would it be, in my opinion, respectfully, a waste of our time, but it also is unnecessary. So it's a double whammy. And I mean, I've been in the district for 6 years. I teach at Ben Franklin, and if this was a normal year, we'd already be overloaded. But this is on top of, I've got family who's sick, I've got friends who are sick. And I'm really lucky. I'm not sick and I've got a job, and I appreciate that. But on top of all of the other stress, trying to do the best by the kids and by the families to deliver the best education that we can, we're trying to plan end of year activities, make it a special year. I teach 8th grade, so we're trying to give them a terrific graduation. And to ask us to do this, I think it just dilutes our ability to do what we've been trying to do, and it will hurt our ability to deliver a good education. So I hope that you guys will reconsider. It doesn't have to happen this year. It can be taken away this year, and it would not be any loss, but making us do it especially without any guidance, would be a detriment.
Thank you, Mr. Finn. We have a third speaker card from Mr. Paul Hagan, President of AFT. Would you please unmute yourself when you get invited?
Certainly. Excuse me. This is a strange experience, speaking to a timer. Thank you for your time. And I don't have a whole lot to say. I did reach out to our trustees earlier today because I have to say that there's been a bit of a, I guess we could use the term snafu a little bit around the open house this year. I think we're working it through, and I've been in communication with Mr. Valenti today. There was some communication that probably could have gone better, and we're going to be working on that. But I do want to say that just as an opportunity for me to just plug that I think what is needed so that this kind of thing doesn't happen, because there's I think a misunderstanding, and what we need really though is really clear, timely, and thoughtful communication. And I think that keeping that in the forefront will prevent this kind of confusion, because I understand that in truth the open house event has been somewhat downgraded, I suppose, and changed to a different kind of event. So we have made some progress on that. And so thank you for your time and consideration. I also want to take an opportunity to shout out to Ms. Roxana Hannon for her placement, another one of our teachers and AFT members moving up into administration. And we have had really, really good luck with these appointments. So appreciate giving Roxanne that chance. My time is about up. I can count it down for you. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. I'm out of here.
Thank you, Mr. Hagan. You're expired. We have one more speaker left. We have Mr. Kevin Owens, a staff member. Would you please unmute yourself when you get invited?
Yes, thank you. Hi, so my name is Kevin Owens. I'm a teacher at virtual school and at TRP, as well as a member of the Ethnic Studies Committee and on the executive board, AFT 3267. As my colleagues have said, this year teachers have worked harder than ever to provide high quality instruction for our students. And we've worked many more hours and been in closer communication with families than ever before. And right now, teachers are exhausted physically, mentally, and emotionally. Last week during Teacher Appreciation Week, teachers inquired about the upcoming open house and what it would look like. We were told that there was no plan, but that it would be mandatory. When teachers expressed that they were near their breaking point, we didn't hear back from the district. Meanwhile, we received a statement from JESD saying how they appreciate how hard the teachers work for our students and how hard we've worked this year. We all know that the best way to show appreciation is through actions and communication, and not just through words. I was planning to talk to you tonight about why this board needs to cancel the open house. However, I was told minutes before this meeting started that JESD has decided to downgrade the open house to a quote unquote virtual send-off. And this is a step in the right direction, and I really appreciate this positive decision. We asked last week that the open house be canceled, and today we found out it has been downgraded. However, this is still extra work for teachers who have already passed their breaking point. I ask that the district cancel this extra work altogether for the mental and emotional health of the staff. And ultimately, this is a silly problem and one we should not have to speak to you about. There's an obvious solution, and that is to cancel the event altogether. Teachers should not have to organize, plan, and prepare to speak to the board. Instead, we should be spending our time focused on organizing, planning, and preparing lessons for our students. But we cannot do that if we are not taken seriously when we voice our concerns. When teachers are truly appreciated, trusted, and listened to, it will benefit all of our students. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Superintendent Vidalis, are those all of the speaker cards for this evening?
Yes, those are all the cards for tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. we'd like to take this opportunity to thank everyone that has taken the time to participate in public comments. While it's not always understood by many who may be viewing that because these are not agendized items, we aren't always able to elaborate on these items at this time, but we do always want to give assurance that as a board, your comments are heard. And that we definitely want to ensure that they're validated, and as we heard tonight, validated by action, which means us doing our part to follow up on everything that is shared this evening. So we want to thank you again for dedicating yourselves to participating in this process. And we will now be moving on to the next item of our agenda.
May I
Sure.
interrupt for a moment?
Sure, Trustee Pazuello.
I know that we can't take any action on this, but I would like to know what plan we can put into place as far as so we can have some discussion soon to correct this or to make this thing happen.
I would just like to share that I'd be happy.
I'm getting the point across. I mean, we're just like ignoring it. I want to know, when can we discuss it to take care of it if we need to take care of it, if we need to.
I will inform the board what the resolution is that Mr. Hagan was referring to.
Okay.
Then you can let me know if you need further discussion beyond that.
So how are we going to do that without having a meeting to exactly give you a
Yeah, we'll schedule it. If somebody feels like there needs to be further discussion, then we can schedule a meeting.
Okay, because I think I'm hearing a cry out from the teachers.
Yep. I believe that there's a resolution in sight, so we can.
Okay, well, please keep us posted so if we can need to call a special meeting, we have that opportunity.
Yes.
Thank you, Trustee Buswella, and I will say thank you, Superintendent Vidales. I too am in support of that. If the board needs to come back to the table, we definitely want to be a part of facilitating that process and support the district and our teachers in reaching the best compromise, especially considering all things that are on the table at this time. So I do want to share my sentiments on that. Thank you, Trustee Buswella, for sharing that. I am in agreement.
Welcome.
And I do know I think some of us have received communication, and I do know that the superintendent has also informed us. So we do look forward to continuing to get that update. But I do believe that by the nods of heads from my fellow colleagues on the board that we'd like to avail ourselves to be a part of that discussion if needed. Thank you all. So I'd like to move forward to item 14, governance team member comments, reports, and board meeting reflection. And I would like to start with Trustee Koo.
I don't really have much to say. Just I appreciate the relatively short meeting tonight. I also wanted to just wish everybody a happy rest of the school year. I realize it's only a couple weeks away, but just want to wish everybody just a strong finish to the end of the year. I also realize I have a CSBA delegate assembly meeting this coming weekend. So I will provide some updates in terms of what was discussed. I know one of the breakout sessions coming up is about the fall for in-person relearning, return to in-person learning. So I will provide some insights on what I hear from other school board members from across the state on that.
Thank you, Trustee Koo. Trustee Jordan?
Thank you. I also am very grateful for this short meeting. And I am looking forward to getting more information to the conversation we had earlier to ensure that we are in support of our teachers, because I do feel strongly about that as a person that was quote unquote part-time teaching my 5-year-old and 13-year-old this year. I am like, I can't even imagine what the teachers have gone through this year. So I definitely am in support of everything that was discussed tonight as well. So looking forward to closed session and hopefully ending that quickly as well.
Thank you, Trustee Jordan. Trustee Buswella?
Oh, well, I can echo everything that's being said. I'm glad this was a short meeting. I'm glad that we're able to take care of many of these items. And I'm glad that we're being open to some of the suggestions that are being said by some of our board members of what we would like to see for the future. We can only say that we only do the best we can with the information we have and with our love for students and parents and teachers and everybody that makes this district, I consider a really great district. And I'm just really happy. I'm happy that where we are at this time. It's just, we're doing good, and we can always strive for even higher, because that's what you have to do. Never be satisfied with what you have. Reach out for more. So with that, I want to thank everybody for all the input.
Thank you, Trustee Buswella. Superintendent Vidalis? Oh, you're on mute.
I'm especially pleased that we were able to successfully execute the public comment pilot that we did, and I think that works better. I enjoy hearing the voices of our speakers, and I think that provides a different flavor to the conversation. So I want to thank Ms. Manio. We've had several conversations over the last several months. How can we do this? And I think that we were able to do it and be respectful, which is our ultimate goal in all of these interactions.
May I interject one question that
Yes.
might help us go to the next step? What would we have to do to be able to have their presence on the screen?
I can look into that and come back with some options.
Because I think it's really nice when you see the person who's speaking as well, because it's just a whole different feeling. So I just want to ask how that could be done.
Yeah, we'll look into that, and my hope is pretty soon we will be meeting again in person. So that's the best way to get that to happen.
Yeah.
Now that we're all vaccinated.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, we just need the guidance to allow less than 6 feet apart, and that can really facilitate that.
Thank you, Superintendent Vidalis. I, like everyone, am very grateful for a short meeting, and we look forward to being very focused during closed session to continue that movement.
Yeah.
And still be efficient. But I want to say that it was definitely warming to hear actual voices this evening outside of reading public comment cards. And that evokes a lot of emotion. And I think that it really allows us to really, on top of hearing it, allows us to process things a little bit differently, especially since the pandemic has stolen so much from us being, together physically. And so I want to thank, our team at the district and under the guidance of our president, Manio, to be able to make that happen tonight. And we look forward to coming in person together very soon. I welcome that with open arms. I did share with our board during our meeting last week, our special meeting, that being vaccinated has been wonderful. I recently was able to remove my mask because all of my siblings and their families are all vaccinated. And all 200 of us got together up in further Northern California and were able to do that safely. But while we continue to get vaccinated, I think that we still need to be mindful and vigilant, that we need to still follow safety protocols because we are in public spaces and we aren't always aware of who's vaccinated and who is not. So we need to continue to be the example. And I want to thank our teachers for their passion and dedication, and to our families, because without all of you, we would not have a district to serve in and support. And I'm grateful for the opportunity to continue to revisit conversations. And I appreciate the courage on this board. Thank you, Ms. Buswella, for pushing us to take time and slow things down and to revisit important conversations. We are not a board who wants to rubber stamp things. We are a board that wants to be sensitive to the issues that impact everyone, every single person of our district and our community. And with that said, I just want to continue to thank everyone, our administrators, our teachers, our families, and celebrating our students very soon. I was excited to see the dates were already now in place for our, our ceremonies to celebrate our students' transition to their next level of education. So that in its own is something to celebrate. And that could not have happened without all of you doing your part. So I was grateful to see that today. So we continue to wish you all well. Stay safe. And again, happy AANHPI Heritage Month.
Yeah.
Much aloha. So as we move out to our closed session, we are looking at closing out our meeting at 8 p.m., but we would like to take a 5-minute break. But I believe we have some names that we will honor as we close out this evening's meeting. Superintendent Vidalis.
Yes, we would like to close tonight's meeting. Let's see if I have my piece of paper here. Here it is. In honor of, in a moment of silence, in honor of Stephen John Martinelli. He's the husband of Lisa Martinelli, a teacher at Susan B. Anthony Elementary School. He was the brother-in-law of Ellen Tomasello, a virtual school teacher this year, but also based out of Susan B. Anthony School. And he's the nephew-in-law of Jackie Renteria, a retired clerk typist from the district office. This is definitely a JESD family that we want to extend our condolences to and close in honor of their beloved.
Thank you, Superintendent Vidalis. If we could please honor his memory with a moment of silence. Thank you all. We will now adjourn our public meeting at 8:02 p.m. and take a 5-minute break and reconvene at 8:07. Thank you all for joining us.